Okay, cool. It's not bothering my lips too much, so if so, I can change it. Oh, goal here is to hold myself accountable. I'm trying to read more. Okay, right now I'm about halfway through this one. As you can probably see, it's Kamala Harris, Truth We Hold. I'm trying to finish this one, hold myself more accountable. I want to read more this year. And I feel like a good way to do this is to stream myself doing it so that I can either look back on it and also hold myself accountable, because I have the fear of someone watching and judging me for not reading. It'll make me read more because I really do want to read more. These are the only books I've read the last 2 years. I need to read more. It's a good way to hold myself accountable. I don't know who you are. I'm talking to myself in case I come back to this. Gospel of John. Why vegan? Eating ethically. That's pretty lit. The psychopath test. It's pretty neat. I like that one. Gaslighting. How to recognize it. Lots of use found in this one. Free will explained. It's nice. And then thickest one I've read, God Delusion. Trying to get past those. I've got, if only the camera could see, it's right there. I've 20 plus books to read. I have a habit of just buying books and saying I'm gonna read that and then not reading it. Right? Had majority of these books for well over a year and a half, 2 years. Trying to change that, trying to read more, trying to get these fuckers done. It's also just enriching myself, making myself more aware of things, learn more. I like learning. I like watching videos, but I can't do it all through videos. I have a hard time watching videos. I like short form content. I'm a little addicted to it. My brain's fried. There's also a way to solve that. So it's gonna be really boring. It's just gonna be me reading a book. No entertainment value. It's all just for me. All right. Can you hear this? Is it like I can't tell. One of my earmuffs is out. I can't tell very well. Is it like noticeable? Is it too quiet? Too loud? Do you think? Yes, so you can hear it. There's a delay. I'm gonna wait for the next answer. Also, I'm gonna change this while I have it here. I just don't want it. Okay. Sick. Thanks, man. Glad you showed up just in time. Alright. Probably. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Are you on, like, wait, hold on. Are you on, like, controller? Or are you phone? Because I'm going to be amazed if you're watching on a console. I can't imagine watching another streamer on console. That's crazy work. Unless you have a PS5. Oh, then you have no excuse to be a slow typer. No excuse. Not to cook you, but no excuse. Turn this fucking fan up, dude. I'm cooking in here. Alright. Wicked shit. Alright. Oh, don't make fun of my reading. I'll be sad. I'll look back at this later and cry. Chapter 5. I Say We Fight. I'll always remember how I felt in November 1992 as a 28-year-old prosecutor driving across the bridge from my home in Oklahoma into San Francisco to celebrate the victory of newly elected U.S. Senators Barbara Boxer and Deanne Feinstein. They were the first female senators from California and the first two women to represent any state at the time. Their election was a highlight of the so-called Year of the Woman and an inspiration to girls and women everywhere, including me. I recalled that celebration 22 years later when in early January 2015, Senator Boxer posted a video of herself in conversation with her oldest grandchild, Zach. She talked about the issues she cared about and the issues for which she'd fought over 3 decades in Congress: a strong middle class, a woman's rights to choose, the environment, civil rights, human rights, and underscored that she wasn't going to give them up. But as she told Zach, okay, I imagine, yeah, it's a PS4 Slim from 2017, so bros fighting to stay alive right now. But as she told Zach, she wanted to come home to California, and so she wouldn't be running for re-election. November 2016 was almost 2 years away, but I had a decision to make. Should I run to replace Senator Boxer? It would be an opportunity to take the issue we were driving forward in the California Attorney General's office and bring them to the national stage. Becoming a U.S. Senator would be a natural extension of the work I was already doing, fighting for families feeling the burden of stagnant wages, soaring housing costs, and diminishing opportunity for people imprisoned in a broken criminal justice system, for students exploited by predatory lenders and burdened by skyrocketing tuition, for victims of fraud and white-collar crime, for immigrant communities, for women, for older people. I knew it mattered whose voice was represented at the table where national priorities and policies are set. Old friend, by the way. Glad you're doing well. Zesty emoji. Roosevelt? Is it Alex? It's the only person I can think of. The fuck else would be Roosevelt? Yeah, okay. Okay. It's been... before I say this, let me make sure. I remember the only first memory that comes to mind is the Minecraft server I think you were hosting for us. I say us, but it's me and some other people, I don't remember. Where is it? I swear to God, it's here. You didn't deny it. Last time we texted was 2021 of August. That's crazy. That's funny. You still use that Instagram account? As of 2023, yeah. $2025. Yeah. Welcome back, man. Briefly, I still somewhat talk to Kat. I don't know if you remember her. I forgot what her username was on Minecraft, but it was... I don't remember what it was. I think the one Lewis was going after hard. Or no, he did date her for a moment. That was bad. That was weird. Your breakdowns? Interesting. I keep up with her. Lewis tried texting me. I wasn't dealing with that. He'll kind of pop up on my stream sometimes. And I'm like, hey man, what's going on? I mean, also, bro, with the whole raid stuff, it was crazy. Looking back on it, like, bro was doing some insanely illegal stuff. Like, stuff I won't repeat. Glad, I mean, from the sounds of it, homie got rehab and figured it all out and worked through it. Probation, kept him straight. Now he's cool. Now he's, you know. Hope the best for homie. That's all I got. That's all I got. Gonna distance myself from that. Unfortunately. Is that you? Is this you on Facebook that just added me? Okay, I was tweaking. I was like, that's so weird. Don't know how you feel about politics, but I post hella politics on my Facebook. I be fighting with people, so I don't know if that'll pop up a lot on your page, seeing my stuff. You can unfollow me, but keep me as a friend. I know a lot of people will do that. Wait, hold on. This era? Oh no. This one? I can pull all the other stuff out, but I'm good. Oh, yeah. What a time. What a time. Very much out of that. Thankfully. Very much out of it. Biggest Steven Crowder fan. Almost bought a Louder with Crowder mug. Now Thanksgiving's not a time of love, it's a time of arguing. I still have my one Jordan Peterson book that I plan on reading. It's like 12 Rules for Life, but any of the other ones I'm not interested in. Now he's got We Who Wrestle with God. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I want your psychology, not your... whatever. Teach his own. What a fall from grace. But glad you stuck around with me. Had a lot of people drop me for a lot of my pro-Trump stuff, and looking back, understandably so. I was very obnoxious with it. Totally get it. Don't hold any of them to it. Tried to repair some of those bridges. Tried to. I've redeemed a few of them, but a lot of them are long gone. And I'm like, hey man, don't blame you. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. No more Beeba Doobie. I'm tired of Beeba Doobie. Please, spare me. Yeah, there we go. Roped you back in. Back in, there we go. Got another one. Roosevelt. Is your last name? Your last name's not Roosevelt. Why did I connect Roosevelt with Alex? Why did I make that connection? That's so weird. Oh, that's because it's literally your Instagram. Okay, yeah. Never mind. Put that one together myself. Oh, look at that. Bazinga. Epic sauce. I figured the one on Facebook's probably your real one, I assume. That's just my guess. Oh. That's neat. Roosevelt. Is Roosevelt just a play off of it? Okay. I don't know if you know. Wait, oh. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. I haven't given Bowie a chance yet. I gotta go through his music. What is this? Let's keep playing the same 8 songs. Yeah, 2. Reveal yourself. So I know if I can talk shit or not. There's some of you out there that I don't like and doesn't like me that'll come watch this to see if I'm talking about you. I'm going to talk about you regardless, but I want to know that you're here. Those are bridges I'm not in favor of rebuilding. Some people I don't care to talk to anymore. Oh, you like my red chroma key? I got the fucking chowder texture. Where is it? Where's the center? Oh. I'm slow. Yeah, there it is. David Bowie? Why? Like money reasons? I'm gonna assume that's the song name. Purple Nurple. Wait, I just made the connection. Jesus Christ. I know that happened with actually that album right there. Eminem, Infinite. Only the song Infinite is available on Spotify. The rest of the album's not there. Like Tonight, Murder, Murder. Quite unfortunate, but it's lower quality stuff, so it doesn't hurt his discography as much. Squeeze me. Based. True. Yeah, it's supposed to be reading. Distracted me. It's your fault. It's your fault I'm never gonna finish this, goddamn. Also, let's just take a moment to appreciate the baddie. Hold on, wait, these pictures of her when she's a kid. Wait, hold on. Fuck, where are they? This book has a few pictures in it. Where is it? This fine ass lady. I can't see if it's the top one. Beautiful. No, don't take it. There we go. Beautiful. It is so gay that we lost her. Can only hope that she'll come back. I'd vote for her in the primaries. Unless, I don't know, if Newsom took it seriously, I might. But Harris, Warnock, Newsom, Walz would be cool. Buttigieg would be sick, but he wants to run for Senate in Michigan, so I'll gladly take him for one of our senators. Maybe if Bernie ran again. Get a 90-year-old in there. Fuck it. We had two 80-year-olds. Let's get a 90-year-old in there. Whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it. We ball. Why not? What can it hurt? Could possibly go wrong. Don't want Cage Fumi. Why are you playing the same 3 songs over and over again? Is he actually? I know he said him and Bernie and I'm assuming you're talking about Bernie. Bernie and Newsom both like mentioned that they're thought about it, but they want to stay behind the party. They don't want to fracture it too much. They want to put everybody behind. Like Bernie was like, let's put everybody behind Harris, and Newsom was like, let's put. I believe in Biden. I believe in him. I don't care what I see. I care what results I see. It's like, bars, my guy. Bars. Bro was killing it. And Bernie's like, I thought about it for 5 minutes. But I'd be really surprised if he ran it again. I would probably go for him. My parents, my hyper-conservative parents would probably like Bernie. They just like that populism. They like the corporate billionaires. It's the donor class. The billionaire. Bro. They like that shit. No? What? Whoa, Kay Granger? Who is Kay Granger? Missing Texas Congresswoman. Texas. Found with dementia issues after months. Hadn't cast a vote since July. "81-year-old Granger, Texas County District 12, not cast her vote in the House since July." Dallas Express reported. She had announced that her plans to retire after conclusion of her term in early 2025, following which Granger no one in the public eye. Meanwhile, speculation. I'm sorry we are unable to answer your phone right now. We are really glad you called us. Please leave your name, phone number, and a brief message, and someone in our office will call you back as soon as possible. Locked, glass doors covered. Living at the local memory care and assisted living home after being... Jesus Christ! Well, realistically, it's Texas. Is their money being funded properly either way? First elected in 1996. She was on her last term. She knew she was on her way out. That's why she was making announcements in 2023. You know who's next on that fucking list? McConnell. Bro falls down the fucking stairs every 2 years. Yeah. Yup. Unfortunately. Baddie. He's slobbering like a dipshit. Goodness, yeah. Didn't get Hillary. Lost Trump. Then old, decrepit Biden's ass gets in there, beats him. Then Kamala comes in, loses. My coworker's like, let's just stop running women. Clearly it's not working. Alright, the last one, like Hillary, she at least won the popular vote. This one fucking lost both. Every swing state. Get this woman out of here. I was like, what? Maybe. You might be right. However, we can't just give up. Going through this thing makes me even more hopeful she'll run again. Hopefully she doesn't try to take Newsom's spot as governor of California. I've heard her rumors of her talking about that. And if she does go back to California, I hope it's at least governor and not senator or something like that. I'd like to see her in a high position of power. She's very capable. The whole bit where she was fighting a housing crisis with like banks, like they wanted to do $4 billion, and she was like, no, more. And they're like, you don't understand the damage it's gonna cause us. You don't understand the damage you've caused. And they got to $20 billion. She was the only one in her state to do that. To like not take the $4 billion. That's crazy. That's a crazy achievement. Yeah, there's like witnesses of her on the phone with JP Morgan Chase's CEO yelling match. Ugh. Which is also another thing. She only had like 103 days to campaign. Yeah. Only having 103 days and still getting like 70 something million votes. That's pretty good though. It's pretty good. But I think people are just too focused. It's also like vibes heavy, right? Like people are convinced that the reason why eggs are so expensive is because of them. It's because of them. It's because of Biden and Kamala. It's because of their policies. It's not because of the supply and demand chains and displacement of jobs. Oh, but then now if you say eggs are expensive, oh, well, it's the bird flu and all these other external factors. We know what external factors are now. We know it's not just the president that's in charge. Ooh. Is that what I was like 4 years ago? Is that what I was like? Fuck. Oh, I'm so sorry to everybody. God. Can't stand it. Greatest recovery in all of the G7. And we can't even take credit for that. But then watch, in like 2 years, once his policies start taking into effect, Biden's policies, everything starts doing a lot better. Unless this motherfucker reverses all of it and stunts it, right? We'll start seeing some good progress, and then they'll be like, look, see? Told you it'd get better. It's like, oh. Yeah. That 1965 EO from Lyndon being revoked, that scared me for a second because I didn't realize what it was. I just saw that it was a discrimination. It was like a proactive affirmative action type thing, not the actual subvert. I was like, I thought this was ingrained in law. What do you mean he reversed it? But it was just the proactive, so they can't do passive discrimination. That's still pretty crazy. What are you out here revoking EOs from 65? And then he's talking about an Illegal Aliens Act from 1789. Who are you? You are not informed on this. Who's telling you about these? Had to Google that. What the fuck you mean 17? Illegal Aliens Act of 1789. Terrible. Terrible. Supposedly the worst thing he's done so far. I think the worst thing so far. We're 8-9 days in. The pardoning 1,500 motherfuckers from J6. And a ton of them were violent. One of them's on video driving a stun gun in the neck of a police officer. Pardoned completely. Let go for free. I was just posting about that, yeah. Yeah, you might be able to correct me because I didn't know too much about Guantanamo. But apparently torture methods were authorized by Bush. Whether he was fully aware of it or not is contested, I guess. I don't know. I read like 2 articles on it for like tactics for torturing, because it's mostly meant for like what, terrorists, right? They would like waterboard. What are you talking about? What is that from? Guantanamo? Oh, I need to know the context of that. J6 partners? I'm reading 5 sets of fetal remains found in anti-abortion activist home, DC police says, from 2022. Oh wait, hold on. Lauren Handy. Of course she was at the rally. I'm reading it. Apparently she got in trouble in 2022 for blockading abortion clinics, and I'm reading now. Well, hold on. No, you might be right. This is from 4 days ago. Trump pardons anti-abortion activist who blockaded clinic and had fetuses in her home. So they might be connected. Lauren Handy, 31, progressive anti-abortion uprising. Police found 5 fetuses at her home. Saying that a medical waste worker had allowed her and progressive anti-abortion uprising founder to seize 115 fetuses from a medical waste collector. The two claimed that the driver willingly handed the box of fetuses over and Handy wanted to give the remains a proper burial and a funeral. Back to Handy's apartment, she said she believed 110 of the fetuses were aborted during the first trimester of pregnancy, and the five fetal remains police found were late-term or nearly full-term abortions. No charges were ever filed against Handy in connection with the fetal remains, and their discovery was not mentioned in her FACE Act case. Handy's pardon comes from days after attorneys for the Thomas More Society, a conservative Catholic legal group, submitted a formal request to the Trump administration earlier in the month to pardon 21 peaceful pro-life Americans. What? That's crazy, okay? That's crazy. Like... I heard it's being redone. What do you call it? Renovated, revamped, I guess, whatever he means by that. Okay. She was a part of the pardons, but she wasn't January 6th related. That's the caveat. Yeah. We're 8 days in. Like, my parents are big lovers of him, bigger than I ever was. right? In ways, right? Because I know certain policies I liked, and some I still kind of I think are okay. They don't know any of his policies. Right? If you ask them to name a policy, like closing the border, what does that mean? Stronger economy. Wow. Scaring Russia. Like, and they were like trying to undo birthright citizenship. It's kind of bad. I don't like that. That's weird. So, oh, wow. All right. Moved you an inch forward, back this way. Pulling you back just an inch. What was another one? I mean, but they haven't said anything about the J6 pardons. That's weird. That's weird. It's really weird. It makes me uncomfy. Uncomfortable. Oh, 3 years, 11 months, 22 days, 21 days. Assuming he can't run a third time. I like how that bill to give him a third term to repeal the 22nd Amendment, they knew it wasn't going to go through. Was like, hey, you can run for a third term if you haven't run 2 consecutives in a row. Purposely excluding Obama. Intentional. They know what would happen. They know. They know. Hoping not. I read on X, but I'm fairly certain it's bullshit because they didn't link any source to it. It was just, according to our reporters, no reporters were named, but after the J6 pardons, there was like 25 GOP senators that were like very upset and would vote yes on an impeachment. And they only need 55% to follow through with it. And I was like, oh, that sounds great. Nothing ever happens though, so I'm not gonna keep my hopes up. I'm just gonna be like, maybe. We'll see. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Oh, I hope things happen. I hope things happen better than they have in the past. I hope they work out instead of missing. Whatever that means, you know. Joking! Haha. Joking! Kind of. Alright. Gotta actually lock in here. That's true. I mean, I don't know what state you're in, but it was 40 degrees a day after being like 0 degrees for the last 2 days. So, that's concerning. Yeah. New York, yeah. I imagine it's pretty disheartening over there. My state voted red, bro. What the fuck was that? I get it's a swing state, but come on. God. I had faith in us. Wisconsin was only like 10,000 votes, too. Difference. I so badly want to blame progressives that were like, oh, actually, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. Well, I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. She's never going to be president. I don't know what you're doing, dude. I get it. Like, this needs to be set up in advance. Like, right now, start setting up right now for Jill Stein the next election. Okay, this would be a perfect time. Yeah, I'd have to look at my area to see if they let me down. I know my state let me down, but I think like Detroit was blue. I hope. I had a coworker that me and my other coworker talked out of voting red, per se. Explaining to her, and she's like, okay, but I can't bring myself to vote for Kamala. I'm like, brother, what? Whatever. So long as you don't vote for dickhead, alright? And then she came back. She's like, alright, I voted. Who'd you vote for? Kennedy. Why? Why would... That's a waste. You might as well have not voted. Why would you... He's going to be a part of Buckhead's cabinet. We know that. He admitted that. Why? I don't even know why he was an option on the ballot. Maybe he couldn't revoke it in time. I don't know. But that was crazy. Michigan. Jesus Christ. Had a difference of like 900,000 votes for Michigan. Yeah, I was watching those hearings today. Bernie was ripping him one. No! My county went hella red. Ugh. Nasty fucks. Why do we have 4,200 votes for Stein and 2,100 to Kennedy? And Cornell got a shocking 594. Wow. The UP is just fucking hot red. Brother, terrible. Oh, crush midterms. Midterms. Lock in for the midterms, alright? We locked in last time. 2022, we killed it. They were so confident after overturning Roe v. Wade, like, yeah, red wave coming, 2022 midterms are ours. No. Bye. Dipshit. Alright, lock in now. November 2016 was almost 2 years away, but I had a decision to make. Should I run to replace Senator Boxer? It would be an... Oh, wait. I announced my candidacy on January 13th, 2015. Eventually, so did 33 others. Doug, for whom it was his first major campaign, had to get used to a new kind of scrutiny. We still laugh about the time a reporter asked me who would play me in a movie about my life. I deflected, said I didn't know. Doug was not as prudent. He answered the question, and the resulting article said that he was delighted at the prospect of being played by Bradley Cooper. I tackled the race as I had every other, meeting as many people as I could, listening carefully to their concerns, mapping a plan of action to address them. As the campaign rolled on, my team and I crisscrossed the state in what we called the Kamoji bus, because of the giant emoji caricature of me painted on the back door. Because of California's unique jungle primary, I ultimately found myself in a runoff against fellow Democrat Loretta Sanchez, a longtime member of Congress. She was a rough, tough, determined opponent who kept fighting until the end. I was fortunate enough to have on my team some of the best people in the business. My brilliant campaign manager, Juan Rodriguez. Jesus. JR. My longtime strategic advisor, Sean Clegg and Ace Smith, along with Ellie Capel, and an extraordinarily dedicated group of staff and volunteers. My goddaughter, Helena, was among them. She started a newsletter interviewing the staff and chronicling our efforts. Our team was in it together every step of the way, and I couldn't have done it without them. The 2-year campaign passed both fast and slow, but even as I focused on my state, my campaign, and the work before me, something ugly and alarming was infecting the presidential election. The Republican primary was turning into a race to the bottom, a race to anger, a race to blame, a race to fan the flames of xenophobic nativism. And the man who prevailed crossed every boundary of decency and integrity, bragging about sexually assaulting women, mocking people with disabilities, race-baiting, demonizing immigrants, attacking war heroes and Gold Star families, fomenting hostility, even hatred towards the press. Wonder who that is. As a result, election night 2016 was not a night for cheering. It was no longer about the race that had just ended. It was about the fight that was clearly now beginning. Drawing on the words of Coretta Scott King, I reminded the audience that freedom must be fought for and won by every generation. It is the very nature of this fight for civil rights and justice and equality that whatever gains we make, they will not be permanent. So we must be vigilant. I said, understanding that, do not despair. Do not be overwhelmed. Do not throw up our hands when it is time to roll up our sleeves and fight for who we are. I didn't know, when I spoke to my supporters that night, exactly what was to come. But I did know this. We would need to stand strong and stand together. On Thursday, November 10th, less than 48 hours after my election, I visited the headquarters of the Coalition of Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles, CHIRLA. CHIRLA is one of the Los Angeles' oldest immigrant rights advocacy organizations. It was founded in 1986 after President Reagan, a former California governor, signed the Immigration Reform and Control Act, which, among other things, gave legal status to undocumented immigrants who had entered the United States before 1982. CHIRLA's original mission was to inform immigrants about the process by which they could apply for legal status and about their rights to work. It trained community organizers, challenged anti-immigration laws like California's Proposition 187, which prohibited undocumented immigrants from getting non-emergency public services, and it eventually took on a national portfolio by building coalitions all across the country. It was the first place I wanted to speak officially as Senator-elect. Angela Casales, CHIRLA's I'm gonna try real hard. Indefatigable. Indefatigable. No. I'm sorry. That's not a real word. I hope I'm not like... What?
Indefatigable. Indefatigable.
Indefatigable? CHIRLA's indefatigable. Persisting tirelessly. We couldn't find a better word? Indefatigable? Okay. That's extra as fuck. Whatever. Indefatigable executive director was there to greet me when I arrived. The room was full. It was full of strong, brave women, young women to grandmothers to great-grandmothers, working women who did everything from domestic work to home health care work, some of whom spoke fluent English and some of whom spoke only Spanish, all of them ready to fight. In their courage, their dignity, and their determination, they reminded me of my mother. Standing among them, I thought about the duality of the immigrant experience in America. On the other hand, it is an experience characterized by an extraordinary sense of hopefulness and purpose, a deep belief in the power of the American dream, an experience of possibility. At the same time, it is an experience too often scarred by stereotyping and scapegoating, in which discrimination, both explicit and implicit, is part of my everyday life. My mother was the strongest person I've ever known, but I always felt protective of her too. In part, I suppose, that instinct to protect comes from being the older child. But I also knew my mother was a target. I saw it and it made me mad. I have too many memories of my brilliant mother being treated as though she were dumb because of her accent. Memories of her being followed around a department store with suspicion because surely a brown-skinned woman like her couldn't afford the dress or blouse that she had chosen. I also remember how seriously she took my encounter with government officials. Whenever we would come back from traveling abroad, my mother made sure Maya and I were on our best behavior as we went through customs. Stand up straight, don't laugh, don't fidget, have all your stuff, be prepared. She knew that every word she spoke would be judged, and she wanted us to be ready. The first time Doug and I went through customs together, my muscle memory kicked in. I was preparing myself in the usual way, making sure we had everything just right and in order. Meanwhile, Doug was relaxed as ever. It frustrated me that he was so casual. He was genuinely perplexed, innocently wondering, what's the problem? We had been raised in different realities. It was eye-opening for us both. For as long as ours has been a nation of immigrants, we have been a nation that fears immigrants. Fear of the other is woven into the fabric of our American culture, and unscrupulous people in power have exploited the fear in pursuit of political advantage. In the mid-1850s, the first significant third-party movement in the United States, the so-called Know Nothing Party, rose to popularity on an anti-immigrant platform. In 1882, an act of Congress banned Chinese immigrants to the country. In 1917, Congress overrode President Woodrow Wilson's veto in order to establish a host of new restrictions on immigrants, including a literacy requirement that most Americans wouldn't pass. Concerns about growing numbers of newcomers from Southern and Eastern Europe resulted in the imposition of immigration quotas in 1924. In 1939, nearly 1,000 German Jews fleeing the Nazis in a ship called the St. Louis were turned away from the United States. A plan to allow 20,000 Jewish children into the country was outright rejected, and shortly after, the U.S. government interned some 117,000 people of Japanese ancestry. More recently, as globalization has robbed the country of millions of jobs and displaced huge swaths of the middle class, immigrants have become convenient targets for blame. When the Great Recession ravaged rural America, a number of Republican politicians pointed to immigration as the problem, even as they filibustered a bill that would have created new jobs. Despite the profound role they have played in building and shaping America, immigrants who come here to seek a better life have always made for an easy scapegoat. Motherfuckers do this today. They ran on the border, but then when the Republican Langford drafted up that border bill, a certain somebody, DJT, I had to think of the middle initial, shot it down so that he'd have something to run on. Motherfuckers are doing the same shit. Our country was built by many hands, by people of every part of the world, and over the centuries, immigrants have helped to lift and fuel the economy, providing labor to industrialize it and brain power to create society-altering innovations. Immigrants and their children were creative minds behind many of our best-known brands, from Levi Strauss to Estee Lauder. Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, was a Russian immigrant. Jerry Yang, co-founder of Yahoo, came here from Taiwan. Mike Krieger, the co-founder of Instagram, is an immigrant from Brazil. Arianna Huffington, co-founder of the Huffington Post, was born in Greece. In fact, in 2016, researchers at the National Foundation for American Policy found that more than half of Silicon Valley's billion-dollar startups were founded by one or more immigrants. I stood by the podium at Chirla with an American flag and stars and stripes balloons in the backdrop as a mother, a house cleaner from the San Fernando Valley, spoke in Spanish about her fears of deportation. I could barely translate her words, but I understood their meaning and I could feel her anguish. It was visible in her eyes and her posture. She wanted to be able to tell her children that everything would be okay, but she knew she couldn't. I thought of the nearly 6 million American children who live in a home with at least one undocumented family member, and the trauma and stress that the election had wrought. I had heard many stories of safety plans that were being put in place, mothers telling their children, if mommy doesn't come home right after work, call your aunt or uncle to come and get you. It reminded me of the safety plans I'd seen when I was working with the victims of domestic abuse. In both cases, there needed to be a contingency plan to mitigate against an impending harm. Advocates working with families told us how children were afraid to go to school, not knowing if their parents would still be there when they got home. Parents canceled their children's pediatrician appointments out of fear that ICE would be waiting for them. Likewise, I knew that parents at the moment were facing harrowing decisions about what to do with their American children if they were deported. Should the children stay with a relative in the United States? Should they go with their parents to a country they had never known? Either option was heartbreaking to imagine, and I knew it wasn't just undocumented people who were terrified. According to research published in American Behavioral Scientist, all Latinx immigrants, whether citizens, legal residents, or undocumented, experience the fear of deportation at the same rates. I wanted them to know I had their back. This is a time in our country for coalition building, I said. Reminded of the work I had seen and done through the years, we are going to fight for the ideals of this country, I told them, and we are not going to let up until we have won. I left Taylor 2 days after the election feeling both encouraged and worried. I knew we were preparing for a battle together, but I knew too that we were underdogs in the fight. We were going to have to steel ourselves for all that was to come. What a shame. Let's see how many pages is this chapter. Damn. I'm gonna check the time, and if it's anything past 11:10, I gotta cut it here. I'll just stop right here. So I ended right there. I'll pick up right there. 11:17. I'll have to cut it there. I gotta get to bed. What page am I on? 148. What page did I start on? 141. So I read 7 pages. I didn't expect to run into Alex, so had a little yap session real quick. Definitely could have gotten more in, but no biggie. I will probably just do this again tomorrow. Let me update my Goodreads. Alex, do you have Letterboxd? Get Letterboxd. I know, it's alright. Totally cool with it. Just end goal at the end of the day, make this. Oh! Trying to make this stack a little bit bigger. Gonna add this to it. You have, or you don't anymore, or? Because if you have Letterboxd, you should add me. Should add me on Letterboxd. Add me on fucking Letterboxd. 41% on IG. Wicked. Also, I don't know if you use a music board, but it's essentially the same thing. Essentially the same thing. That's right. You can have ratings, favorite songs, favorite albums. But for music, it's a little glitchy though, and yeah, I don't know what to do after I watch a movie. I immediately open up Letterboxd and start rating that shit. The music one's called Music Board. But it doesn't have the best support. If there's like a glitch of some sort. Nice. Let me set these books back. Oh heavens. Oh. Come here, Kamala. Come here. Put a candle on top of you. Oh. Oh no, I unplugged my headphones. I can't hear anything. Now I can hear. I can hear things that weren't being said. Okay. Well, when you send it to me, I will add you on there. But for now, I am out of here. Thank you for participating. Nice chatting with you. The 3 or 4 other people that periodically hopped in, thank you for watching. I'm literally just a reading thing. Alright? Unless somebody else that I haven't talked to in years pops back in here, this likely won't happen. It'll just be actually me reading the entire hour. But with that, thank you. Much love. Kisses. Goodbye. You as well, man. Sweet dreams. Oh.